22-day push-up challenge um, to raise awareness for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and the suicide epidemic that's plaguing, um, veterans and active duty, where 22 vets a day are losing their lives to suicide as a result of the PTSD illness. And I've also mentioned again that many this is regular civilian population. It's an epidemic as far as suicide nationally. So today I just want to talk a little bit about outreach, and I'm not talking about reaching out to one another because I've already discussed that, but how kind of putting yourself out there and getting involved in your community and those around you, whether it be at your church or your mosque or whatever it is whatever your religious preference is, or getting involved with just a community just on a human level. It can be a very rewarding way to kind of fill your spirit and in your soul, and help you to kind of get through and get over some of the things that you might be dealing with. A lot of times I think people overlook. We get so caught up. It's kind of human nature to get caught up in our own emotions and struggles and things that we're going through. And I found that by reaching out and helping others that might be less fortunate than me, or just helping with a project that is like a group type thing to help out the community as a whole, it's a good way to take my mind off of what's going on. It's putting my efforts and my energies on something other than the life struggle that I might be going through. So it's just yet another way to kind of think on a positive side and solution oriented side of how we can kind of collectively handle this issue. And if anybody's out there just kind of going through it, just consider that. Consider some ways you might be able to get involved. Coaching, youth sports, coaching one of your junior family members or something, whatever you can do. So just my little nugget for today before I do these 22 push-ups. Again, outreach. Consider outreach, and that might actually help you. All right, I'm gonna knock these out. And along this path of my 22-day challenge here, I've been just kind of discussing various solutions, life experiences, things that I've been through, and just to point out areas that I think that we should be focusing on to try to address this epidemic. Today I want to talk about letting go. I think that another very challenging aspect of suicide, or the decision to take your own life and to deal with life challenges, is the fact that we don't want to let go of things. We hold on to too many things. We try to be superhuman and think that we can handle everything ourselves. We don't let go of past failures. We don't let go of past challenges, past relationships. Just add whatever you want to the end of the word past. We don't want to do it. And that's something I want to discuss. I just want to point out that it's okay to let go. It's okay to say, you know what, I can't do this. I can't handle this. I can't continue with this, whatever it is. Fill in the blank. Our own selfish pride. This is not gender specific. Our own selfish pride causes us to want to hold on and want to think that we can take on whatever. Once it causes us to think we can defeat and continue on with a specific challenge, and I just want to say that that's not correct. That's not something that we could do. Sometimes you just gotta let go. You just gotta say, you know what, this particular thing, I just need to move on. and not and in doing so, you release certain burdens and certain issues, certain weights on your life. So just want to point that out to you guys. I think that's something that we can all learn from. So today I just want to talk real briefly about another topic. I've always brought up little solutions, and just want to say today, just invest wisely. We all get a certain allotted amount of time. We can't increase the number of minutes we get a day. So what I like to say is, we got to make sure that we're investing those minutes into the right people and into the right situations, because life's going to happen, and we're going to end up with disappointment. We're going to end up with challenging situations. We can't avoid that. So what we don't want to have happen is we're investing all this time and effort into those situations and into certain relationships, and they come up void. So the ultimate result is it's not a situation where the life situation was necessarily wrong. It's a situation where we sometimes invest in the wrong things. We put most of our eggs in the wrong basket. So that's something I'm constantly working on. I'm constantly trying to. I struggle with that just like anybody else. So in an effort to try to minimize stress and pressure on us in our lives, we have to consider where we place our investments of time and invest wisely. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna knock these last 22 out.
All right, y'all, that's it. See you tomorrow.
Rough week, really rough week. And that got me to thinking about commitment as my topic for this video, and following through, being committed to your peers, your family, and just doing the small things, focusing on the small things, to stay engaged with people so that they'll know the differences in you and you'll be able to tell the differences in them. And it goes in line with what I've been talking about all along, about people fall into the greatest cause of suicide, in my opinion, which is isolation, where we sort of put ourselves on an island and, kind of separate ourselves from the people that could help us. So just be committed to, using your phone more, to just call people randomly, see how they doing. I actually did that today. Like I said, I was feeling a little bad today, or this week. I just had a rough week, you know what I mean? So today was a little bit of a bad day, but as soon as I kind of got through my little issue, I started calling people up, and it wasn't so much to vent or anything. It was just to kind of do, kind of be a person of what I say. I say I sit up here and say various things, but I got to live by it. So, that's all I got to say. I just want to say, just be committed to the people around you. Call people when you don't feel like it. Listen to people when you don't feel like it. And, understand you're a human being and you need people and they need you. So it's as simple as that. The term drastic change, or how sometimes in life we have to make a drastic change to sort of create a spark, in our life, or to to kind of get out of a rut. As I've talked about, with suicide, the few things that I've mentioned personally, from personal experience, with the topic of being depressed, going through some of the things that cause a person to want to think about taking their own lives. When I was talking about personal experience, I was talking about isolation. I was talking about just emotional fatigue, stress, those kind of things. Sometimes, making a drastic change in your life is a positive. I know a lot of times people look at it like, you're doing a spur of the moment thing. You're not thinking it through, that kind of thing. I'm not talking about, packing your bags necessarily and moving across country you know, without putting any thought into it. What I'm talking about is small things like, you know, you've been talking about going to the gym for the last 6 months. You've been in a rut for the last 6 months. Maybe just wake up the next morning and go to the gym. And don't worry about how many reps you get in. Don't worry about how many, you know, miles you do. Just show up. You might go in there and sit down, but you got your gym clothes on and you haven't been in there in 6 months. You might get on a treadmill and walk for 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. Just make the drastic change. You know, sometimes it's with relationships. It doesn't mean you're quitting a relationship. It doesn't mean you're starting a relationship. It just means, you know, I'm going to try to do a specific thing, you know, change a behavior, whatever. You know, that's what I mean by drastic change is sometimes the simplest things are the drastic change. Sometimes not cursing. Say, I'm not going to curse anymore. I've been known to be the person that has the most profound, you know, profane mouth. I'm going to make a change. You know, I'm not going to curse or whatever. You know, quitting smoking cold turkey, even though they say it's not healthy or not necessarily the best idea. Maybe you wake up and just say, you know what, today I'm going to try this, you know. So I just want to throw that out at you, you know, regarding this topic. Sometimes we just need to make a drastic change. We just need to stop doing something or start doing something. That's it. You know, simple as that. So, all right, I'm going to knock these push-ups out. Two. All right, y'all. Peace. As always, my inbox is always open. You can always hit me up. If not, still try to make a drastic change somewhere if you need to. All right, peace. Love y'all. Out.